Hey guys, what's going on? Triton here, and today was the Bungie kind of Sandbox reveal stream for patch 2.5.0.2 that's going to be dropping this Tuesday on February 14th on Valentine's Day. And boy, were there a lot of changes, and some of them good, others of them not so much, and other ones that are kind of debatable, but I'm going to tell you everything that they changed. And yeah, so we're going to get right into it, and we're going to start with the one thing that everybody's been talking about recently, and that has been shotguns. And so they changed a few things on them. The first thing they did was from hip fire, you no longer have like the stickiness, the magnetism, and it has reduced aim assist, or no aim assist. I can't remember which, but I know for sure at least reduced aim assist when hip firing with shotguns. And to go along with that, which is a big part of a lot of people's playstyle nowadays, is they decreased the in-air accuracy to shotguns. So if you're jumping through the air and you try to shoot somebody, your pellets aren't going to end up where they have been. So as a sniper, I'm okay with that, but as someone who really wants to get better at shotgunning, that kind of sucks. Yeah, so shotguns are definitely going to be harder to use there. They removed precision damage from all shotguns except for Chaperone and Universal Remote, saying as though those two mostly revolve around precision damage with the Roadborne perk and the Universal Remote perks. And also, they removed a movement reduction that they implemented in a previous patch to shotguns. So, you're going to be moving a little bit faster with shotguns. So, that's pretty cool. And then, 25% increase to PvE damage for shotguns. So, unrelated to Crucible, but still a change that they made to counteract the removal of precision damage. So those are all the changes to shotguns, and so now we're going to move on to pulse rifles. So starting with the 77 rate of fire for impact class, the Waltz, Clever Dragon, and Grasp of Malik. The rate of fire was increased by 7.7%, so that means that it's going to fire a little bit slower, and I don't know if it's like in between each burst or the bullets in each burst come out slower. I think they said it's about a 1 frame difference in rate of fire, so assuming perfect accuracy, it's still a 4 burst kill, but that's an extra 4 frames that somebody's gonna have on you, which is so minute. It's less than a fifth of a second. So that's been changed, and then the overall flinch reduced, or has been reduced on all pulse rifles, so all impact and rate of fire classes. The highest rate of fire, the Waltz, Clever Dragon, Grasp of Malik, the mag size has been reduced to 24 on at least the Clever Dragon and the Grasp of Malik. I don't think that they're changing the Waltz, seeing as though it already has a super low magazine, unless I'm thinking of the party favor. No, yes, I am thinking of the party favor. So Waltz, Clever Dragon, and Grasp of Malik, their magazine sizes have all been reduced to 24. So that means with brace frame, you're going to only get 18 shots, which is 6 bursts. So really got to pick your engagements, or you need to have a pendant magazine, or preferably perfect balance or hand leg stock. So that brace frame, if you want to keep that range, you're gonna be sacrificing 8 a lot whenever it comes to your magazine size. And then also the lowest rate of fire, highest impact, so the lead Milla and the spare change has a rate of fire increase, or right? Yeah, rate of fire increase. And if I said increase earlier on the Waltz, I meant decrease. So it's the Grasp of Malik impact rate of fire is slower, and the spare change League of Milla archetype is faster. So I think it was a a little over a 5 millisecond change there. So yeah, those will hopefully be a little bit more effective, but that's all the changes they did to pulse rifles. Unfortunately, no change to the Red Death archetype, which makes me sad. I love that gun. I'd love to see it. I would have loved to see it come back. Covering auto rifles next, they increased the damage as well as the crit multiplier for the lowest rate of fire auto rifles. So that's the Suros ARI 45, the Suros Regime, things like that. The Answering Chord from the Taken King, Shadow Price. So that really hard-hitting auto rifle, the Raid auto rifle, the Genesis Chain, that falls into that category. So those got a little bit of a bump. Hand cannons, and this is one that a lot of people were waiting for as well. The initial accuracy has been set back to year 1. So essentially what that means is that there's no bloom on your first shot. So if you're lined up and you're on your opponent's head and you take that shot, it's going to hit their head every single time. But the final accuracy, which is as you're taking your shots, remains unchanged. And if any, they said they didn't technically demonstrate what the bloom looks like now. We don't know if it's actually been reduced or increased. They just said that you need to pace your shots, and if you're going to spam your weapon, then your shots are going to miss. So we'll see how well that works out. The only one that they actually showed it on was the last word from an absurd distance, and their accuracy, in my opinion, did not look super great, so it doesn't really tell us a whole lot. And also the range was reduced by 5 meters, and damage fall off is much faster. So if you have, as they demonstrated, if you have your opponent standing next to the red tree on outside heavy on bannerfall, and you're standing like if you're looking at B flag from the red tree off to the right, or on either side I suppose, and you just keep backing up, you're still going to be doing damage on your first shot, but it goes from 86, which is the max current, and it's still the max afterwards. It falls off to about 37, I believe is what it was, or 33, something like mid-low 30s from that kind of range. And another buff to primaries overall, except for hand cannons, is the in-air accuracy was increased. So whenever you're jumping in the air, your pulse rifles, auto rifles, and scout rifles are all going to be more accurate. So those are all the changes to primaries. Scout rifles were left untouched. So yeah, onto special ammo, and this is probably the most controversial part of it, but it's going to take some play testing. We're going to need to play it before we make any super critical judgments on it. But you start every game with special as you normally would. However, whenever you die, you lose all of your special. All of it's gone, which initially, my initial thought on that was that your your setup as far as your special ammo boost and your sniper boost, your shotgun ammo boost, and all that on your armor becomes almost useless aside from what you can pick up. But yeah, it doesn't seem like that great of a change. It sounds like we're gonna have a repeat of what happened last year during the Taken King, where you just didn't spawn with special at all. So hopefully Bungie can, hopefully they did the right thing, and if they didn't, hopefully they can fix it, because if that doesn't work out, they've essentially killed PvP for a lot of people if you're only going to be able to use your primary for the entirety of the match. Special ammo boxes spawn every 60 seconds, however, so little bit of a silver lining there is that there's almost always going to be special on the map for you to go and pick up, but once you die, it's gone, and I don't know. Again, it's going to be something that we're going to have to play with. We're going to have to see what it feels like to play it and not just go off what we hear and what the numbers are. So, as experienced with just about every other change, it's always going to feel different than how it looks on paper. Sidearms have been unchanged as far as ammo goes, so you're always going to spawn with sidearms, so that's an indirect buff to them because you don't have to worry about special ammo. You know, you can run around with your Trespasser, with your Iron Wraith, or with your Wormwood, and just melt people. So, yeah, so sidearms got an indirect buff there, which is good. And then Invective and Icebreaker are both unchanged as far as their ammo regenerative properties. So that's all the changes that they made to weapons and special, like the ammo economy. And so we're gonna move on to class changes, and the first one is pretty controversial from what I've read and what I've heard so far. Hungering Blade for Blade Dancers will only recover part of your health, and like say you have no shields, you're half health and you get a kill. Hungering Blade isn't going to act like transfusion or energy drain. It's not going to start full regen of your health and shields at the same time. It's only going to give you back a partial bit of your health. So if you're no shields and half health, it'll probably bring you up to full health, and if you're about the 75% range on your health bar, then you get a kill that activates Hungering Blade. You're gonna get your health back and then a little bit of your shield. So I don't really see why that was done. Like, Blade is not a great super as it is, and the fact that you have to get up close and personal with somebody, you can't attack them from long range, really, because I don't know. It doesn't seem like a totally necessary thing. I think there are other things that they could have done with their time put into that. Throwing knives now do solar damage for all you gunslingers, because that makes a big difference in PvP. And it only affects quests mostly. I guess a couple of strikes if there's burn modifiers and things like that. But yeah, so solo throwing knives now do solar damage. Another big one, Jug Shield will now vanish after being in the air for a short time. So you're running on the ground, as you know, and your Jug Shield will pick up like normal. But once you jump in the air, it seems after you've been in the air for about 3 to 5 seconds, it'll just vanish. So, but I guess if you're Titan skating, it seems like it will stay as is. Like, there's going to be no change because you're hitting the ground every so often. And yeah, but if you're like jumping up onto a platform or onto a ledge or something and your Jug Shield activates and you're in the air for too long, it will go away, leaving you very exposed if you're not ready for a gunfight. And then the final class change is to Thunderstrike. They brought the range of Thunderstrike into line with other Warlock melees, and that is like the base Thunderstrike melee without Amplitude. I'm assuming Amplitude is probably going to add another meter or so. And then there were some undisclosed changes to some exotics, including Truth, Young Wolf's Howl, and Shinobu's Vow. We'll have to see what it is in the patch notes, and then some mention of Blink. So maybe faster the recovery debuff for Blink is now removed. Maybe. I don't know, it seemed like he had faster recovery out of it. But yeah, that's all that we really have for now. We're going to have to wait for the patch notes to come out on Tuesday. But yes, so those are all the changes and my thoughts and opinions on them. Let me know what you guys think of everything that Bungie has changed. in the comments below. And if you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed, hit that subscribe button. And check the links in the description. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. And yeah, that is going to do it for me. And I will catch you guys in the next video.
The spark isn't
Peace.
just an objective. It's a weapon.